Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
The Flyers continue to do it. They absolutely continue to do it. The Flyers beat the New York Rangers at the Wells Fargo Center by a score of 5-1. It was electric in the building. There were a ton of people there. It was the complete opposite of the Anaheim Ducks game. The Wells Fargo Center was filled. It was loud. It was passionate, and I missed that. I really did. I feel like there wasn't a showing like that all season long. It was the first time I could truly hear the fans screaming through my television. You could tell it was passionate in the building, and it feels good because the Flyers deserve it. Of course, there is a rivalry that plays a factor. A lot of the Flyers fans despise the Rangers because of what occurred throughout history when it comes to these two teams. Hell, you even got to throw into consideration the New York Rangers fans that live in the area, which helps spark the hype around this game and the building being filled. But all around, I was really impressed with the fan base in this one because this team deserves it. They haven't gotten what they deserve when it comes to the fans' respect, really, and it's really beautiful to see. And they put on a show late in the game and took them to the third period, but they put on a show. Before we dive more into this, I need to let you know about my sponsor, SeatGeek. If you use the promo code BROADS at SeatGeek's checkout page, you get $20 off of your total purchase. It's a no-brainer. Free food, free parking, free beer. You can put that $20 towards anything. Use the promo code BROADS today. Kevin Hayes going up against his former squad. Alain Vigneault going up against his former squad. Well, both delivered. Alain Vigneault with another fantastic coaching job. He gets this team ready to play. They are inspired. They love him. They bought into his system, so kudos to Alain Vigneault. Kevin Hayes on the ice scored 2 bingos in this one, and they were both so beautiful. Carter Hart stepped up and was spectacular and made huge saves. Coming into this game, the Rangers were 17-14-4. Not a bad squad, not a great squad either, but with the way the Flyers play at home, I thought they were going to win this game. Based off of how well they were playing on their home ice, and based off of what I stated with Kevin Hayes and Alain Vigneault. Because the team rallies behind that. It's not as if the team is oblivious. The players know. The players understand the circumstance. Kevin Hayes is going up against his former squad. Alain Vigneault is going up against his former squad. That means something to the team, especially a team that's this tight, that's this close. Kevin Hayes was actually interviewed on the Spit and Chicklets podcast, which is the Barstool hockey podcast that they do, and he was talking about how close this locker room is. He said it was the best locker room he's been in when it comes to the NHL. It was so close. Everyone's bonding. Everyone's on the same page. It's like a brotherhood already. He stepped into that locker room, and it was instantly just a great group of guys that meshed. I think they thrive off of that connection, that brotherhood. It's powerful. I've been in some terrible locker rooms. I've been in some close ones, and I still keep in touch with some of the guys that have been really, really good to me in the locker room, I'd say. When I had a team that was super close and so involved and did everything on and off the ice together where it felt like a family, there is so much meaning behind that, and it changes everything. It not just off the ice stuff and how I still communicate with them now, but it changes how you play on the ice. It changes how you're out there as a team and wanting to do every little play correctly for each other. There's so much meaning behind it. So I think with the way the Flyers played in this one, I know it wasn't gorgeous and pretty throughout the entire game, but they pulled through. They were dynamite in that third period, and I think there is tremendous value in that, and there's a reason behind that, and it comes with how close they are in the room. So no goals happened in the first period. There were some opportunities on the power play where they didn't cash in, and throughout the entire night, the power play struggled. They allowed a shorthanded goal. They had plenty of chances where they couldn't score, but they should have, and then I know Lundqvist is fantastic. There's a reason why he's going to have a Hall of Fame career by the end of it. Stud, been there forever, just a solid veteran who makes it happen. Now he's towards the back end of his career, but there's a reason why he is Henrik Lundqvist, okay? He definitely is a really solid goaltender. goaltender, so props to him. But at the same time, I think the Flyers power play had to deliver, had to score, had to put it past him in multiple moments, and did not execute on that situation. Carter Hart was making saves. Spectacular. I mean, that's just the way to describe it. Spectacular. Late in the first period, under a couple minutes left, so poised at such a young age. Really, at the end of the day, when I look at it, big picture, I mean, it was a battle between Lundqvist and Carter Hart throughout this game, and it's crazy to think that, yeah, we have the young 21-year-old stud who's fighting and dueling with Henrik Lundqvist. I had to wash my eyes. I had to clean my eyes out to make sure I wasn't dreaming, to make sure it was real. It's real. It's real. So in the second period, that's when the Flyers allowed the shorthanded goal to the Rangers. Foss ends up scoring to make it 1-0. Carter Hart makes the first save, the initial save. It was a beauty, but the puck ends up going in the Rangers' favor. They move it towards the slot, and Foss scores to make a 1-0 lead for the Rangers. Now, Farabee and Frost had a 2-on-1 in this period. Farabee sends it over to Frost. He takes a one-timer. Lundqvist with a great save, and it's kind of relatable to the Carter Hart thing. I'm watching Morgan Frost and Joel Farabee on a 2-on-1. This is the future of the Flyers. This is the speed of the Flyers, the young guns that we have been waiting for forever. On a 2-on-1 against the Rangers, they weren't able to cash in, but I had to wash my eyes. I had to make sure I wasn't dreaming. I need to see if this was real, and it was real. This is something we are going to be seeing in the future for so many years. Can't wait to continue to watch it. But at the end of the period, with 1.7 seconds left, Travis Sanhiem throws a puck on net. He's in about the high slot. It deflected off maybe a Rangers defenseman or a Rangers player. You can see the puck sort of change the way it was spinning. It had to have hit something, but it gets by with 1.7 seconds left in the period, and the Flyers tie the game up. That's so big. Going into the third, 1-1 is such a difference maker compared to being down a goal. Throughout the first 40 minutes, though, I thought Panarin had so many good looks, and this guy's a stud. I mean, that was a big acquisition in the offseason. They paid him a ton of money. He was getting some really good looks on Carter Hart. It was scaring me. I thought at some point he would be able to deliver and score, but Carter Hart continued to make the saves. But through 40 minutes, he did have way too many successful attempts, in my opinion. Well, I guess they weren't successful if they didn't get by him, but too many good opportunities, and it just can't happen. You can't give the other team's best player so many shots on goal. Eventually, he will find the way, so you think. And then speaking of Panarin, and they also got Trouba in the offseason, not that the Rangers are having a bad year. It's sort of like a weird mix of a rebuild and not a rebuild at the same time. They're 17-15-4 now, going into the game. They were 17-14-4, but yeah, my point is I kind of expected them to be a little bit better than just a couple games over 500 when you saw their roster. I don't know how they look at it. I don't know how they think about this team, because like I said, it's sort of like a rebuild, because think about how horrendous they have been over the last few years, but they get some big time acquisitions. They spend a ton of money to do so. Where should they be? Are they where they should be, even though they got these big time players? I don't know. I just expected more maybe, but I'm not mad about it. When the Rangers are bad, it's always great. When the Devils are bad, it's always great. I'm waiting for the Boston Bruins to be bad, because that would be great. I don't think it'll ever happen, but that would be great. Moving on to the third. This is where the explosion happened. Flyers come alive. To make it 2-1, Kevin Hayes gets the biscuit after some beautiful passing by JVR to Joel Farabee over to Kevin Hayes. This goal was a legitimate snip. It was a snip. It was unbelievable. It was disgusting, and he picked the corner at such an elite level on one of the best goaltenders to ever play in the NHL. I was amazed. I couldn't believe it. I think I threw up in my mouth because it was so gross. How about that? And you could see the emotion on his face. You could see how fired up he was after that bingo, because he knew how special that was. Oh, by the way, Kevin Hayes isn't done yet. But there was a goal in between his two goals. So the Flyers take a 2-1 lead in that moment. Voracek almost scores. Oh, so close. He makes a toe drag move, but can't bury it. Zibanejad hits the post. Oh, come on, boys. Come on. Hold on to this. Hold on to this. Well, Sean Couturier gets a mini breakaway. He makes a move. He doesn't score. He gets the puck on the side of the net. He tries to thread the needle through the slot. Pitlick whiffs on a one-timer, goes through his skates, and Travis Sanhiem, who's following up the play, who's joining the rush, gets the puck, and there's a wide open net, and he puts it right in, so he scores his second of the night. The Flyers take a 3-1 lead, but they're not done yet. They score 2 more goals, and that's right, I'm talking 2 more goals with the goalie still in the net. We're not talking empty nets. So Kevin Hayes gets his second of the night to make it 4-1 after that Sanhiem goal, which was his second of the night, and it was just a great move with the poise and the patience to beat the netminder and slide it through. He falls down, he gets up, another moment where you see his excitement. He's filled with joy, beating down on his old team, beating down on his old teammates. And we are not done. To end the game, aube-kubel with a snipe that can arguably be compared to Kevin Hayes. Better, maybe not better, but just as good. I don't know, I can't tell. Both were legitimate twine flu shots. That's right, you remember the swine flu? This was the twine flu for these two. Light in the lamp. Rocket shots. Glove side. Sickening. Beautiful, but sickening. Sickening in a good way. This team continues to win, continues to work hard, continues to prove people wrong. Not that I don't think people don't believe in this team, because we're a good amount into this season. This team is what it is. It's a good hockey team. But they just continue to do it, and I don't think we're used to it. That's all. I don't think we're used to having good hockey. It's been forever. They have that it factor. The young guns created the spark. Not only that, now you're having other guys step up. JVR, he's been quiet throughout the first part of this season. Well, he's putting up points. He's producing. He's getting on the score sheet. Kevin Hayes, I talked about the big acquisitions the Rangers got this offseason. Same with the Flyers. Kevin Hayes was one of them. He's starting to step up. He's starting to provide more than just a two-way game where you're happy with what he's providing with the depth. How about Travis Sanhiem? 3-point night? 2 goals? How about it? I love looking at this decor every night. Someone new is in the lineup majority of the time. You got the Robert Haig, the Phil Myers, the Travis Sanhiem, the Ghost. Like, there's some guys that go in and out of this thing, and I like the way that you can plug guys in. And it's not an obnoxious drop-off. Now, to me, Robert Haig is the worst of the crew that get rotated in. But all around, I mean, it's not as bad as I expected Robert Haig to be. It's not terrible, him specifically. But as a whole, with this core, you can slide guys in, and it's not a problem. You're not missing a big step, but the guys are producing. This entire team is producing. It's crazy what happens when a coach holds you accountable. It's crazy what happens when there's someone in between the pipes that can make big-time saves. He made big-time saves in this game. He was crucial. Without him, I don't know if you're winning this hockey game. The Rangers had plenty of good scoring chances. He came up big, stopping it with his mask. Big glove saves. So many chances where the Rangers had a good shot in the high slot. Looked so easy. Simple save for Carter Hart. But it's not a simple save. It's a big save. I don't think the Flyers played perfect by any means. They had a good penalty kill. They didn't have a good power play. That needs some work. I mean, you can't allow shorthanded goals, and you can't score once on 6 chances. Because those are the moments where you can put away a team, where you can destroy a team, where you can kill their confidence early, and it wouldn't even be a close game. Now, it ended up not being a close game, but, if you bury a few of those power play goals early in the game, well, it's not about the explosive third period. It's just a pure dominating performance by the Flyers, who put away the Rangers early in the game, and it wasn't even a contest. You know what I'm saying? The Flyers go on a West Coast trip. They've been unreal at home. We all know that. The Wells Fargo Center has been a comfort thing for them. Well, now you have San Jose. You're going out to Anaheim, I believe. You're going out to the California squads. Let's see if they can play well on the road. Let's see if they can compete in another building, in another time zone. That's going to be the true test. Now you have the 10:30 game starting to kick off. I don't know how you feel about the 10:30 games. Not kickoff. I guess it's puck drop. I like it when the Sixers play at 7, and then there's a Flyers game at 10:30, or vice versa. If it's a Flyers game at 7, a Sixers at 10:30, then you're covered for an obnoxious amount of hours into maybe the 12:30 time frame, 1 o'clock time frame. You're set. You're covered. You got your night. I love it. But if it's just a Flyers game at 10:30, it's a little bit different. Just a little bit different. But regardless, no one cares about my personal preference with game times. What matters is, are they going to win? Are they going to be able to compete? Are they going to be able to keep this hot streak going? Let me know what you think down below. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and I will see you next time.